Have you ever noticed how some people treat big days like they're nothing special? Birthdays, promotions, anniversaries, milestones that everyone else makes noise about. They just shrug and move on. No countdown, no celebration, no announcement. Almost like the day doesn't deserve attention. Here's the psychology behind people who downplay important days and why it reveals far more about them than you think. They learned early not to expect emotional rewards. Many people who downplay milestones didn't always choose this behavior. They learned it. When expectations were met with disappointment, missed birthdays, forgotten achievements, muted reactions, the brain adapts. It lowers anticipation to avoid emotional pain. Psychology calls this emotional self-protection. If you expect less, you feel less disappointed. So instead of hoping a day will matter, they act like it doesn't. Not because they don't care, but because caring once came at a cost. They value internal validation over external attention. Some people don't need applause to feel complete. Their sense of worth comes from internal benchmarks, not public recognition. This is linked to high emotional independence. They don't measure life by reactions, likes, or celebrations. To them, a milestone already counts the moment it happens internally. Anything external feels optional. That's why celebrating feels unnecessary. The satisfaction already happened quietly inside. Attention makes them psychologically uncomfortable. For many, it's not the day they disliked, it's the spotlight. Being the center of attention activates self-consciousness, heightened awareness, performance anxiety. Psychologically, this connects to introversion and self-monitoring tendencies. When everyone is watching, their nervous system stays alert instead of relaxed. So they downplay the day to minimize attention. Less focus means less pressure to perform happiness. They associate big days with emotional pressure. Important days come with invisible expectations. You're supposed to feel happy, grateful, excited. But emotions don't work on schedules. When someone struggles to feel what they're supposed to feel, it creates inner conflict. So the brain resolves it by lowering the significance of the day itself. If I treat it like a normal day, I don't have to perform joy. This isn't emotional coldness, it's emotional honesty. They've outgrown symbolic validation. As people mature psychologically, symbols lose power. Cake doesn't equal happiness. Gifts don't equal love. A date on the calendar doesn't define growth. These individuals tend to think in patterns, not moments. They care more about trajectory than occasions. To them, progress matters more than applause. Consistency matters more than celebration. So big days feel arbitrary. Meaning comes from daily alignment, not ceremonial moments. They fear disappointment more than they desire joy. This is subtle but powerful. Anticipation creates vulnerability. If a day matters, it can hurt. So some people unconsciously neutralize milestones to stay emotionally balanced. No highs, no crashes. Psychology calls this affect regulation, keeping emotions within a controlled range. It looks like indifference, but it's really emotional risk management. They don't like being emotionally owed. Celebrations create obligations. You're expected to respond a certain way, to thank, to reciprocate, to perform gratitude. Some people find this draining. They prefer emotional freedom over social rituals. No expectations, no emotional debt. By downplaying important days, they stay psychologically autonomous. No scripts, no pressure. They've developed a strong sense of self-containment. Self-containment means not needing external events to feel whole. People like this process emotions internally. They don't broadcast transitions. They integrate change quietly. Big days don't feel like turning points. They feel like natural extensions of who they already are. That's why nothing needs to be marked. Nothing feels incomplete without acknowledgement.
They experience time differently. Some people don't experience life in milestones. They experience it as flow. Dates feel artificial. What matters is continuity. Psychologically, this is linked to present-focused cognition and low temporal attachment. They don't anchor identity to moments in time. So a birthday isn't another year older. It's just another day lived. Now here's the important part. Downplaying important days doesn't mean someone is ungrateful or numb or emotionally distant. Often, it means they've learned to regulate emotions deeply, to protect their inner world, to value meaning over performance. But it also comes with a cost. When you never let days matter, you might forget to let people matter in moments. Balance is key. You don't have to make everything a celebration, but you don't have to minimize yourself either. Sometimes, letting a day matter isn't about attention. It's about allowing yourself to be acknowledged. If this felt uncomfortably accurate, you're not alone. And if you want more psychology that decodes quiet behaviors most people never talk about, subscribe, because the most interesting minds are usually the least loud.